Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've got here with something a little different for you guys today. So for anybody who's been watching my Hunter x Hunter live reactions, I have been, as you know, having a lot of problems with copyright. I've tried editing as much of the videos as I can. I've tried changing the audio. I've tried doing a bunch of stuff, and they keep on getting claimed. So in order to avoid copyright and the risk of me losing my channel, I am going to do something a little different. So I went ahead and watched episode 32, and I'm going to review the episode with you guys. So you guys know I've already watched the episode, so don't worry, you can comment about it in the comments. It won't spoil anything for me. I want to give you guys my thoughts on the episode, and please feel free to comment about it, and let's start talking about it. So first things first. This was probably the best episode in the series so far, and it probably made Hisoka my favorite character. So where we last left off in episode 31, Hisoka had started fighting Castro, and Castro had the then ability to make a double of himself. It caught everybody by surprise, including Hisoka, and he managed to take Hisoka's right arm. So Hisoka started the episode is spinning his arm on a finger because he's acting like he doesn't care. He pulls a handkerchief out of his pocket, covers his arm, throws it up, and cards rain down. He actually does a card trick, and this is the part that got me. Because right here, when he did this stuff, I paused the episode and actually did it. So Hisoka dropped 13 cards, told everybody to pick a number, and gave us a math problem and said he would guess the answer by the end of it. And this nasty mofo pulled a card out of his stump, all bloodied up, with the answer, and it was an ace of spades. This right here. And then he threw the card at Castro. The whole point of this was, I guess he was trying to show Castro that he didn't care, that he just took his arm. And Castro still just wants to be Hisoka, and says he's going to take his other arm, so there's nothing you can do about it. And Hisoka, being the badass that he is, literally holds his arm out and just offers it to him. One of the Castros goes, rips off his arm, and then immediately vanishes. It turns out it was one of his clones. And he's freaking out because behind his back, Hisoka's like, I was ready to counterattack, and his right arm was reattached. And I'm just like, what is happening? Now, you can imagine how I was losing it because I had no idea what was going on. Castro spazzes out. He's just like, I don't know what you're doing. All he knows is he's using Nen, but he's not sure how he's doing it. So he continues to go on the assault. He goes after Hisoka. After Hisoka gives him this whole monologue about, he's gonna end up dancing himself to death, I believe was the quote. He goes after Hisoka, splits into his clones, except now Hisoka's able to track the real him. And he starts freaking out. He's like, how do you pick me out between me and the clone? And Hisoka explains that the clone comes from the image that the creator has in his mind. So the clone is in, perfect condition. Whereas the real Castro has dirt and blood on his outfit from the actual fight. If Castro had been paying attention, he would have been able to replicate that too. So now Hisoka knows where he is, and he's dodging all the clone's attacks, and Castro gets worked up and goes after Hisoka, and out of nowhere, Hisoka's other severed arm flies over and punches him in the face. And again, I'm completely stunned. Because when Castro cut his left arm off, he just straight chucked it. Well, now Castro's all messed up because, he just got punched in the face. And all of a sudden, all the cards that were on the ground are just flying at Castro. And Castro's like, what happened? Where are these cards coming from? And he's like, I need to make a clone to block the cards. But he can't. Because to make something as, as complete as a full human body out of Nen takes a ridiculous amount of concentration. And he just got his brain knocked sideways. So he's not in a proper mental state to do that. And Hisoka basically tells him the whole reason he's losing is because he focused so much on his clone that he can't really use Nen for anything else, because a whole human body, cells, bones, all of that, and he basically limited himself to that he couldn't use all the other basic Nen abilities that everybody else could use. So he had a great offense, but he had no real defense anymore, let alone anything else to counter. So Hisoka ends up hitting him with his cards, and he falls in like the weirdest way because of the way the cards hit him. So it looks like he's dancing, and then he dies. I thought he survived until I watched the fight again, because I watched this episode twice, and I saw how deep those cards were in his body. Yeah, he was dead. Hisoka picks up his arms, he leaves, and we meet a new character. I don't think they said her name. I might have to go double check that. But she is some sort of medic, because not only did she know that Hisoka's arms weren't healed, Hisoka pays her to fix them. And she does something really cool. She uses Nen threads. Check it out. She stops the bleeding in Hisoka's arms and reattaches the bones, the ligaments, the muscles, all in one shot. And then goes over and does the other side. I think she said it was like 20 million for one arm, 50 million for the other. It was wild. But the fact is, Hisoka has full use of his arms now. And then we actually get to find out what Hisoka's Nen ability is. So Hisoka has two. He has Bungee Gum. Bungee Gum I kind of knew about from, other media. He can basically turn his Nen into a substance that's basically elastic and sticky. And it can stick to anything as long as Hisoka wants it to. And it can stretch, or he can pull it back if he wants to. So he takes a cloth and wraps it with Bungee Gum to his arm, where the wound was, because the wound, while his arm is reattached, the wound is still visible. But by covering it up, he uses his second Nen ability called Texture Surprise, where basically he can take a normal cloth and use Nen to change its texture to make it appear to be real skin. It's not real skin, so if somebody touches it, they would know the difference. But by looking at it, it looks like his arm was just completely healed on its own. So he thinks that during the match, then boom, he's magic. Casio did no damage. So it's just more mind games for Hisoka. What I did like that they did is afterwards, they went into a whole explanation of how he actually beat Castro. It was actually really cool. So when he threw the cloth with his arm up, he actually shot his arm all the way up with Bungee Gum and stuck it to the roof. And the cloth he stuck to the ground with Bungee Gum, as well as all the cards. The cards, the cloth and the arm were actually attached to his stump with Nen, whereas the cards were attached to his arm. He did the whole trick to basically keep keep Castro's eyes on him. So when he pulled the ace out of his stump, which was gnarly, and he threw it at Castro hit it away. When he did that, he attached all the cards on the ground to Castro. And then when I said he basically offered his arm up to Castro and said, "Come get it." He also attached his left arm with Bungee Gum to Castro's cheek. And when Castro's clone came after him, he basically reattached his severed right arm with Bungee Gum and then used Texture Surprise to cover the wound, so it looked like it magically reattached, when in reality he had a very limited function. So now after Clone Castro cut off his left arm and threw it away, it's already attached to the real Castro, just waiting for him to force it to retract and punch him in the face. So at the rest of the time, it was just Hisoka getting in his head. If he had been able to stay calm, if he had focused his Nen into his eyes, he could have actually seen what was going on. But he basically couldn't do it because of the fact that he focused so much on his cloning technique. So that's how Hisoka actually won. He basically just tricked this dude and let him beat himself. So once he got out of his proper mental state and got punched in the face by Hisoka's arm, Hisoka just made the Bungee Gum holding the cards retract, and that's what actually killed him. After we get this explanation and we meet this character, she says something weird, but I kind of put two and two together. She basically says that all members of the troop are being called in to the location that Kurapika was supposed to go to for the auction. The whole reason that Kurapika is going there in the first place is because of the Phantom Troop, and apparently Hisoka's a member. it cuts next to Gon in his room, still meditating, and Killua comes in, and Killua kind of plays it off like Hisoka's fight was no big deal, trying to make Gon not feel so bad. But then he admits that now that the fight was insane, and he has no idea how Hisoka won. Now he wants to learn more as much as he can about Nen, because that fight ignited something in Killua. Because Killua was always nonchalant about fighting the entire time they've been in the tower. Then it cuts to Hisoka. It cuts to that girl again, and she starts talking about Hisoka, saying that he doesn't really care about his past. That by tomorrow he'll forget what Casho looks like. And it goes to Hisoka in the shower, and you see, the black spider tattoo of the Phantom Troop. But then something weird happens. He gets out the shower, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot to take this off," and he takes it off. Starts saying that he has, new toys to play with because of Killua and Gon, and he sticks it to the mirror, and it turns into a regular cloth. So it's like, what's his deal? Is he really part of the Phantom Troop or not? I don't know anything about it. As far as I know, I thought he was. That was the only thing I heard about it. But yeah, that's the end of this episode, and I'm excited to get into the next one. I have no idea what's happening, what's going to happen next. The only thing I know about, because I've seen clips here and there, and I've never seen the whole thing, just clips, is that apparently at the end of this arc is Hisoka versus Gon's rematch. So I'm ready for that. Anyway, I hope you guys like this new style of video. If you do, please drop a like, comment, let me know. I can do this for episode by episode, or if you want, I can just blow through the episodes and do one video about the entire arc, or 2 or 3 episodes, something like that. It's just trying to find ways to keep on giving you guys content while avoiding potential copyright strikes, because I have gotten them before for this series, and I'm really having fun with this series, and I don't want to stop because of it. Anyway, like I said, drop a like if you enjoyed this, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys later.